The Parliament premises on the penultimate day of the winter session witnessed high-voltage political drama. The BJP and Congress holding simultaneous protests targeting each other over Union Home Minister Amit Shah's remarks on B.R. Ambedkar in Parliament. BJP MPs staged protests on Parliament's premises accusing Congress of misleading the public. Congress demanded the resignation of Union Home Minister. The Congress MP scaled the wall and the pushing to enter Parliament led to the fall of an MP who was taken to the clinic inside the Parliament complex for first aid. Speaking on protests on Ambedkar Row in Rajya Sabha, Vice President and Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar said, "We cannot allow the country to plunge into anarchy."
Our discussion under Rule 267, and I reiterate, has been consensual when both the ruling and the opposition have agreed. And in asserting so, I take recourse to what has happened earlier. I had indicated that in last 3 decades, this discussion has not been in double digit. We can't allow the country to be plunged in anarchy. Honorable members, we cannot allow the country to be plunged in anarchy.
A joint parliamentary committee has been formed to review the Constitution 129th Amendment Bill, which seeks to amend the Constitution to allow for simultaneous federal and state elections. The bill, which is a part of the One Nation, One Election initiative, will be reviewed by 31 parliamentarians, including 21 MPs from lower house, that is Lok Sabha, and 10 from upper house, that is Rajya Sabha, while BJP's PP Chaudhary will lead the committee. The JPC will submit a report to Lok Sabha on the first day of the last week of next session of Parliament. One Nation, One Election aims to reduce costs and improve governance. The timeline for implementing the bill suggests that the appointed date will follow the next Lok Sabha elections in 2029, with simultaneous elections scheduled to begin in 2034. From this point, the Lok Sabha's tenure will be fixed at 5 years, and state assemblies elected thereafter will have their terms end concurrently with the Lok Sabha's term. All right, and DD India's Anil Thomas is joining us live to give more details on what happened in the Parliament. Hi Anil, very good afternoon to you. High voltage drama on Parliament premises on the penultimate day of intersession. What happened exactly?
Well, good afternoon, Siddharth. Well, it's the penultimate day of the winter session of Parliament. Many expected that the bonhomie that one had seen, especially in the 4-day discussion in the upper house and lower house, to continue. And I think the issue of, the face-off this Parliament session started off with Adani Soros story. Now moving to the Ambedkar face-off between the BJP and the opposition. Now all opposition parties coming together on this. I think has played out in a much, I would say, in the citadel of commerce, citadel of democracy. Okay. This kind of behavior was unexpected. This kind of face-off or standoff was unexpected that one would see in Parliament. But I think both parties have stood their ground. The BJP claims that it is misinterpretation of misinterpretation of how what Amit Shah said on the floor of the House, especially in his concluding speech on the 75 glorious years of the drafting of Constitution. The Congress claims it's an insult to Baba Ambedkar and demanding a public apology there from the Home Minister. I think the Prime Minister yesterday said set this particular confusion to rest when he backed the Home Minister. And I think Congress feels, or the opposition feels, that they're losing out on a point, especially to score brownie points, because it's got the opposition on the indie bloc together again rejuvenated. And I think that's where, the opposition has been gungo about it and have been trying to get some kind of mileage out of this particular situation. But I think 2 MPs getting injured, landing in hospital, now, fallout of which could also lead into an FIR, where there is a likelihood of an FIR being lodged against the LOP Rahul Gandhi. So all in all, I think, things going from bad to worse. It was a frosty morning, a misty morning that one saw. But I think that frosty feeling very much evident inside Parliament, with no headway being given by any of them. And we don't see any headway being made further at least in the remaining of today and the remaining of tomorrow, especially when it comes to any kind of business being transacted.
Indeed. Anil, and what next can we expect now?
Well, especially when it comes to this particular standoff that is there, it was peaceful demonstrations that both sides had done. The opposition claims that their MPs were not allowed to enter parliament. The BJP MPs claim that there was a pathway that was left for the Congress MPs to enter, the opposition MPs to enter, who didn't want to be part of the protest. And it also led to a lot of confusion. There were many opposition MPs who thought that it's a regular procedure that you will see the opposition MPs protesting outside just before parliament begins. So many thought that, this was a part of that. They never expected BJP to protest. See, the protest was very fine. It was peaceful. What followed with the injury to the MPs and the fallout that's had with the likelihood of a FIR coming into play, is serious trouble, because that little bit of bonding that we had seen that existed between the opposition and the treasury benches have now evaporated. And, the speaker and the chairman will have a tough time, now getting things together. Luckily for them, we are in that fag end of the winter session of parliament. So, whatever problems that these two sides have put together or two sides have faced will not be evident, because the parliament is going to end with another day of functioning. So all in all, I would say things could have been managed in a much better fashion. You will have a lot of CCTV footage that will come into play, because the opposition has now lodged a complaint with the speaker with regards to a security lapse that took place at the Makhardwar in parliament. So there is going to be a lot of fallout. I think we'll have to wait and watch how things play out.
Definitely.
But this was uncalled for, and especially in the citadel of democracy, when the world is watching how Indian democracy is moving forward, this kind of steps by the opposition clearly puts a bad taste in your mouth, as this session winds up.
Definitely something which is really uncalled for, but we'll have to wait and see what happens next. Thank you so much, Anil. We'll leave it there. 5 terrorists